Hello and welcome to episode 34 of Zero to Hero. Yes, welcome back to episode 34 of Zero to Hero. I'm Wes, and in today's episode we'll be playing our last two games of the league season against Cheltenham and Oldham. Now, I know I said I was going to come back a little bit earlier than that, but due to a really bad run of form, I decided to play right through to the end of the season. And when you were last with me, we had beaten Wycombe 3-1 away from home, and then lost to Stevenage 2-1 at home. And since then, as you can see, form has been very, very poor, and as a result, it's changed the targets I have had for this season in terms of where we're going to finish. We managed to get a draw in our next game after the last episode. We drew 0-0 away from home against Grimsby Town, but we couldn't get a better result in the next game against Lincoln. We lost 2-1 at home. Adi Adoin with the only goal for us in that game. The next game we really should have won. We were 4-0 up against Blackpool. They then managed to get back to 4-4 and then to 5-4, and only an own goal in stoppage time meant that we rescued a point there where we should have really been winning. Adi Adoin was on fire in that game, scored 4 goals in the first half, but unfortunately we couldn't keep in front. I don't know what happened, but we just crumbled in the second half, and we should have won that game really. We then lost our next game against Forest Green, a game we should have really been winning. We weren't 1-0 up after a penalty in the 22nd minute from Callum Chettle, which meant we weren't 1-0 up, but again in the second half we crumbled, conceded 2 goals inside of 2 minutes, and we lost. Couldn't find the net after that. We were then absolutely hammered by my former club, Barrow, 5-1 away from home. Amadou Ba opening the scoring at 19 minutes, but then from then on we crumbled. Mark Howard having an awful game in goal. We then lost 1-0 1-0 at home against MK Dons. We did change our goalkeeper for this game, went with Victor Jonansson, and it was just a 16th minute goal that we couldn't keep out, and we couldn't find the net in that game. We then followed that up with another 1-0 loss against Yeovil away from home. Again, we couldn't find the net, didn't play very well. So I thought maybe it was time for a change in tactic, and that then brought us a 1-0 win against Notts County, who are currently in third place in the automatic promotion spots. So that was a great win, which ended a bad run of form of about 8 games without a win. We then followed that up with a 2-0 win against Gillingham. Adi Adoin and Martel Taylor-Crossdale with the 2 goals in that game. Taylor-Crossdale getting his first goal for us. We couldn't make it 3 on the bounce. We lost 2-1 at home against Luton. We were 1-0 up in that game thanks to a goal from Ioma, but then we conceded in the 23rd and 74th minute, which meant we lost that game. But we won our last game against Hartlepool 6-2 away from home. 2 goals from Humphreys, 1 from Amadou Ba, 1 from Yearwood, 1 from Lacey and 1 from Adi Adoin to round off the scoring for us. Adi Adoin's been in good form since he's come back into the side and since we changed his tactic. So I'm hoping with the better run of form we've been in the last 4 games, we should be able to at least compete against Cheltenham, who have been promoted. They've officially secured a promotion, as have Oldham. Now the issue we have is Oldham and Cheltenham. I'll take you through to the league table so we can explain this in more detail. Oldham are first with 82 points, and Cheltenham are only 5 points behind them in second. So Cheltenham still have a chance to win the league in the last 2 games of the season. They need to win against us and then hope that we beat Oldham on the last day of the season for them to win the league. Unfortunately, we need to win both of our games and hope that Stevenage, Gillingham and Notts County do not win their games in order for us to finish in an automatic promotion spot. Alternatively, if we lose both of our games and Leyton Orient and Scunthorpe, or even Crewe or Barnet, win their games, we could finish outside of the playoffs. But if we win and so do Stevenage, Gillingham and Notts County, then we are resigned to the fact that we will be in the playoffs and we'll have to face Gillingham, Stevenage or Leyton Orient in order to go up. Now, it's not so bad with Gillingham and Leyton Orient because we have picked up wins against them this season. Stevenage not so much. I believe we've lost both our games against them this season. I know we lost one against them recently, but earlier in the season we drew against them, so we haven't actually beaten them this season. So we want to try and avoid Stevenage. We have beaten Gillingham twice this season. I think we've actually scored a grand total of 10 goals against them this season, and we haven't conceded against them. So Gillingham would be the ideal route in the playoffs, but then we would have to face either Stevenage or Leyton Orient in the final. It would be nice if we get Leyton Orient in the final and then stop them from getting promoted because they are our local rivals. But like I say, we're going to be going into our last two games of the season against Cheltenham and Oldham. There has been a change in tactic. It's a tactic I've not used before. It's completely new to me, and it seems to have worked. So we'll go through and we'll see the starting 11 against Cheltenham. Now this is the formation we've been using for the last few games. It is a 5-2-3 formation, and the starting 11 are as follows. Journeyman in goal, in for Howard, who has been awful the last few games he played. But Journeyman's been okay since he's been in goal, so maybe he might be our number one next season. I know Howard should be leaving at the end of the season. We've got a back three of Barkworth, Humphreys and Ioma, our best three central defenders. Then we've got wing backs of Walford and Buonomo. We're preferring him at the moment to Cox, who hasn't been playing well the last few games. He's played well. His replacement has played well since coming into the side. He's one that we've brought up through our youth system. He's a 23-year-old Ugandan right back, and I'm gonna change his name because his first name is Elvis. So we're just gonna call him Elvis. And spell Elvis. There we go. Yes, we're just going to call him Elvis. So we've got Walford and Elvis as wing backs, a midfield of Moore and Yearwood, and a front three of Amadou Bar, Lacey and Adiodoin. We're on an attacking mentality, flexible team shape with passing to space, play out the defence, work ball into the box, whipped crosses, use tighter marking, a much deeper defensive line, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, play much narrower and look for the underlap as the team instructions. On the bench we have Howard, Earing, O'Connor, Matthews, Cox, Taylor Crossdale and Cottrell. I'm hoping we can pick up a win against Cheltenham today, because it means if we can beat Cheltenham today, it means that Oldham have secured the title, which means they won't be so bothered about the game against us in the last game of the season. Southend can book their tickets in the playoffs should everything fall into place. How confident are you about having that sewn up come full time? Well, we deserve to be involved. Yes, we do. Promotion currently out of your hands. I've never given up hope, neither have my players. Football has a very funny way of surprising you and wouldn't write us off. Cheltenham have been in some good form and they did beat us last time we played them. So it's going to be difficult for us to beat them. Who have Oldham got at the moment? Oldham have got Leyton Orient. So Oldham could do us a favour and keep our rivals outside of the playoffs. We've got a free kick, Walford with the free kick, and we've gone 1-0 up. Dean Moore, 5 minutes in, and I wonder what that does to the league table. That pushes us up to 5th as things stand. It was a good free kick from Walford, good header from Moore. Like I said, that puts us up to 5th and hands Oldham the league. It would mean that we're still 3 points behind Gillingham, who have gone up into 3rd place. Notts County dropping out of the automatic promotion spots as things stand. So we would still be able to get into the automatic promotion spots even if Gillingham do stay where they are. But we have conceded an equaliser 17 minutes in, and that's not where we wanted to be, but there's still plenty of time for us to go back ahead. I'm not even going to watch the replays. I want to just get through this game so we can get through to the last game of the season. Elvis with the ball to Adiodoin, out to Walford, who loses out. Ioma misses his header, and now we're 2-1 down. It was a well worked goal from them really, but Adiodoin passed it to Walford. It didn't even get as far as Walford, and then it was just a long ball forward. Ioma missed his header, which left their striker clear through on goal. Poor from both Ioma and Adiodoin there. Both at fault. But if we do lose this game, that means the best we can hope for is staying in the playoffs, because that will put Gillingham too far ahead of us. So we need a win, desperately need a win in this game to even be considered for the automatic promotion spots. We're 40 minutes in, not another highlight for us yet. Our strikers aren't playing at all well. Unfortunately, neither are our defence, so we need to be looking at that. We have dropped down to 8th as things stand, according to the little bar at the top. So at half time it's 2-1. We need to get straight back out in the second half and really have a go at Cheltenham. Not going to make any changes. We have only had 5 shots, or 6 shots now, and 2 on target. One of those was the goal. We've had 2 half chances to their 3, so and neither of us have had a clear cut chance as things stand. Elvis with the ball now, forward to Barr. Can he find a cross? He finds Adiodoin, and it's just wide. It was a great opportunity to equalise. Humphreys with the header. Couldn't find anybody. Barkworth picks it up in defence though. And they're just coming straight back at us. Good header out again. Moore with the ball now. Up to Adiodoin. You've squared it to Lacey, and Lacey forces a save out of the Cheltenham keeper. Barkworth with a corner now. Lacey picks up the ball on the edge of the box. Yearwood now to Moore, to Lacey. And Amadou Barr has equalised 52 minutes in. Assist from Andy Lacey there. Lacey tried to cross the ball in, but it was headed away, and then Yearwood played it to Moore to Lacey, who squared it to Barr, and it was a good finish from him. We've had a lot more shots in this second half, and as things stand we are in 7th. We did drop into 8th, but with the equaliser we've worked our way back up into 7th place. We need a winner though, otherwise it's just the playoffs for us. And we're defending again, not where we wanted to be. Elvis with the header out though, and we're still defending, and it's now 3-2. Not the goal I was expecting. We're not going to watch that replay. I think I'm going to have to make some changes in the defence. Yearwood's looking knackered as well, so I think he might be coming off. We're going to make a substitution now. Ioma's playing terribly, so he's going to come off. But we don't have any... I'm going to have to drop more back into defence because we don't have any centre-backs on the bench. And then we're going to bring on... Who are we going to bring on? We're going to bring on Jack Earing for Ioma. And then we're going to leave Yearwood on for now because he's playing okay. Lacey not having a very good game, so we're going to bring on Taylor Crossdale for him. Hopefully he can grab us a goal like he did earlier in the season, and hopefully we can equalise again, because as things stand we will drop to 8th outside of the playoffs, a point behind Leyton Orient, or 2 points behind Leyton Orient now because they must have gone ahead. Walford with the throw in. Earring now to Yearwood, to Elvis, through to Amadou Ba, who's a pretty tame shot straight at the keeper. I don't know what to do to change this up. Humphrey's not having a very good game either, but we haven't got any centre-backs on the bench. That's why we've had to drop more back. Yearwood's knackered, he's going to have to come off. We're going to have to bring on Thomas O'Connor for him. And we'll play Thomas O'Connor as a Mazzala on attack. See if that can help us out. Got 10 minutes left to get back into this. Jonanson's picked up a knock, which isn't what we want. It's only a stubbed finger. Hopefully that won't keep him out for the last game of the season, because I don't really want to play Howard in goal. He's shown that he's on the decline at the moment. We've gone on to overload, and as things stand we have dropped to 9th because Crewe have gone above us, now 10th. Elvis with the ball to Barr, and Barr really wasting that. Humphreys with the header though. Amadou Barr loses out. This is going to be pretty much it now. We're at the end of stoppage time. Crossdale, nothing. He loses out, and that's it. That's full time. We've lost 3-2. We've fallen down to 10th place outside of the playoffs. Considering we were favourites for the league before it started, this isn't where we expected to be at the end of the season. As far as the board are concerned, we're okay because we're in a top half finish, exactly like they wanted. And it's just the media expected us to do better than we actually have. And if it wasn't for that poor run of form that we had towards the end of the season, we would have still been in and around the automatic promotion spots. But that means Cheltenham are only 2 points behind Oldham and could potentially win if we beat Oldham and they beat whoever they're playing on the last game of the season. But we need to win and hope that we need to win now and hope that Barnet, Crewe and Scunthorpe just crumble, and so that we can finish in the playoffs. Okay, so we're ready for our last game of the season against Oldham. We're going with the same formation, same starting 11. The only difference is we're bringing Ryan Hayes onto the bench in place of Sam Matthews. Hopefully we can get a better result than what we did against Cheltenham. We played well against Cheltenham, to be fair, and it was a close result. It was just a shame that we conceded more than we scored, really. Unfortunately, that does sometimes happen with this formation. But like I said, hopefully we can pick up a win and get ourselves back into the playoffs. The automatic promotion spots are definitely out of our reach now. Walford with the ball across goal, and no one was really alive to it early on. We need to keep an eye on Barnet, Crewe and Scunthorpe as to their results as well, as we have a corner. Barr with the ball to Barkworth. Yearwood, and he's scored 5 minutes in with an absolutely fantastic effort from long range, and that will push us up to 7th, and I believe that is inside the playoff spots. It was a good ball across from Barkworth, and he just absolutely thumped it in off the post. Nothing the keeper could have done about that, and it does put us up into the playoffs by a point. It did, until we dropped. I don't know what happened for us to drop like that. Scunthorpe must have gone ahead, so we need Scunthorpe to lose. They're 2-0 up against Cheltenham, so as things stand, even though we're beating Oldham and Cheltenham are losing, Oldham will still win the league. And I think Crewe have now gone ahead in their game. We're relying on a lot of results for us to stay in the playoffs, and I don't think it's going to happen because we're down to 9th again. As things stand, Leyton Orient, Scunthorpe, Gillingham and Stevenage will be in the playoffs, and we'll have missed out by a point. We need Scunthorpe to lose. We need Cheltenham to come back at them the way they came back at us in the second half. And I think because Leyton Orient are losing, we've gone up into the playoffs. They are losing. They're losing to Lincoln. Lincoln doing us a favour. We could still do this. We could still finish in a playoff spot. And it would be all the more satisfying knowing that Leyton Orient have missed out purely on goal difference. Our goal difference is much better than anybody else in the playoffs, apart from maybe Stevenage, who are only one behind us. But if Lincoln stay ahead in their game, then we will stay in 7th place. We just need to not concede. We haven't had any highlights so far in the second half. We've got one now. Elvis with a crossfield ball to Walford, to Moore, to Yearwood, across to Walford again with a great cross into Amadou Bar, and 66 minutes in he's put us 2-0 up. And I think that just about cements the fact that we're going to win today so far, he says, with nearly half an hour to go. But it was a good finish from Bar, good cross from Walford. And we've just dropped out of the playoffs because Crewe have come back into their game. Who are Crewe playing? Oh, they're drawing 3-3 against Yeovil. Yeovil need a goal to keep us in the playoffs. And we've lost a goal out to Oldham there. Our clean sheet's gone from a set piece. But we're not bothered. What we want to see is Crewe go behind in their game against Yeovil. We're 82 minutes in. I'm going to make some changes. Ioma's knackered, so he's coming off. Ryan Hayes is going to come on for him. And Lacey not playing well. Neither is Adiodoin. So I'm going to make a double change up front. Right, so I'm going to bring on Taylor Crossdale for Lacey, and I'm going to bring on Cottrell for Adiodoin, and we're going to drop him back as a target man. So we're going to have 2 target men and a poacher. In fact, no, we're going to play Crossdale as an advance forward on attack, and that's going to be it for now. Just to try and see this game out. We're still hoping that Crewe go behind. Where are Yeovil in the table? Oh. Bar with the ball to Cottrell, who forces a save out of the keeper, but I don't want to see highlights. I just want to see Yeovil go ahead against Crewe. Humphreys with the ball to Barkworth. We're getting into stoppage time now, and what's the score in the... Right, I want updates. Give me updates. Crewe and Yeovil. Crewe are 4-3 up, and that's it. I don't think we've made it into the playoffs. I think we just missed out because Crewe went ahead against Yeovil, and that's sickening. I think Oldham have still won the league. Oldham have won the league by a point, and we have missed out on the playoffs by a single point. Crewe finishing 4-3 against Yeovil. They couldn't do us a favour, and that is really disappointing considering where we were a few episodes ago. This is the lowest we've been all season. We've been constantly in the automatic promotion spots or in the playoffs all through the season, and it's just so disappointing that that bad run of form towards the end of the season meant that we dropped as low as we did. And what's even worse is Leyton Orient are in the playoffs as well, our local rivals. So I'm hoping for, if anybody's going to win those playoffs, it's Notts County, Gillingham or Crewe. I don't want Leyton Orient to go up. I don't want Crewe to go up either, because they're the ones that kept us out of it. So Gillingham or Notts County to win the playoffs. So that's the end of our season. We're resigned to another season in League 2 next year. I'm hoping next year we can really have a good go at the league. Adiodoin finishing on 22 goals for us, our top goal scorer. Highest average rating went to Amadou Bar on 7.32. Charlie Walford with 15 assists this season. And Amadou Ba wins the most Player of the Match awards. It's very, very disappointing. I may even look for another job in the summer if anything comes up. But if you like that, please give it a big thumbs up. Smash that like button for me. Please subscribe for more Football Manager 18 videos. Remember, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, @WeaselGamer TV for both of those. And thank you very much for watching.